right, welcome back to our second lesson in chemistry. You should have taken some time to try and figure out this warm-up question of asking which one was more descriptive, which one was a better, stronger observation. That's really what we're getting into today. If you said Luis's observations were stronger, then you were correct. And part of what we're going to learn today is that more detailed observations make it for a stronger observation. So, for example, with David's observation that it's light in color and it's a solid, the difference between sample 1 and sample 2 is there's no difference. He didn't describe a difference. But in Luis's observations, she said sample 1 is a white powder and clear crystals, and sample 2 is also white powder, but it's cloudy crystals. So it gives you a little bit of a distinction between the two. And we also are using she's using things like texture to describe those two different samples. So like whether it's a fine powder we know that's like really fine versus a crystal is a little bit larger grain, things like that. So the more descriptive you could be makes a stronger scientific observation. So how does that play into our lesson for today? Like I said, again, more detailed observations provide stronger evidence. That's going to be your biggest tool to be successful today in today's lesson. One thing I do want to go over with you real quickly is just some guidelines for making scientific observations. Again, the more detailed the observations provide stronger evidence as to what they are. And to tie this all back, also, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Make sure that you're describing as many properties as you can and you're recording detailed information. The more detailed you can be, the more specific you can be, the stronger that's going to be as a scientific observation. You're going to be observing different substances. Some of them are going to look very similar. And you don't have the advantage of being able to look at these substances face to face in person. So the more detailed you can be, the better. Why are we doing this? Just to bring that back is making sure we're trying to solve that problem in Westfield as to what is the substance that we don't know, the unknown substance in Westfield's water. That's what we're trying to figure out, that brown substance that you looked at yesterday, or you should have looked at yesterday. The more detailed and specific you can be, the more likely we can figure out which of these three claims could be correct. Is, again, the brown substance is the same as the substance that makes up the pipes, or is it different, or is the same substance as a fertilizer? Or is it just not either of those two things and it's a totally different thing that makes up the pipes? So you're trying to figure that out today. We're going to probably spend another day trying to figure that out as well. But the more detailed you make your observations, the better. I also want you to pause and take a moment to add a key concept to page 2 of your science notebook. You should have a section detailed off. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you my example one here of your table of contents. Should only have 2 pages in there at this point. First page was the definition for property. Remember, when you're setting up your science notebook for a definition page, that you are not only putting the definition of the term there, but you're drawing a picture of it. And you're giving yourself some examples and non-examples. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a picture of that, a really good example in yesterday's lesson. And then add this key concept. Different substances have different properties. When you put that on page 2 of your notebook, though, just make sure that you leave some space because you're going to add a few more things to that page as well. All right, good luck. You can do it. And I hope you make some really detailed observations as young budding scientists today.